The Mongols were brutal military conquerors, but they also took great interest in spurring intellectual collaboration. Their armies fanned out to conquer regions as remote from one another as the Pacific seaboard and the borderlands facing the kingdoms of Poland and Hungary. By the mid-13th century, historic empires which until recently had asserted themselves confidently now lay in crumbled ruins. This was a time of conquest, and the Mongols were not gentle in imposing their rule. Their armies left a trail of devastation in their wake, filled with plundered cities, piles of corpses, and deserted settlements. Once their armies had crushed all resistance, Mongol governors sought to revive commerce, rebuild industries, and encourage prosperity. Like so many conquerors, they wanted to be able to extract taxation and, perhaps more importantly, ensure that everyone within their lands channeled their efforts towards the Mongol Empire as ultimate goal, governance over all human civilization. To this end, the Mongols went to great lengths to recruit skilled artisans and merchants who could be of value to their empire. Some, including Venetian traveler Marco Polo, entered the Mongol Empire voluntarily, offering their services as translators, diplomats, or merchants. The Mongols' leaders considered intellectuals and scholars to be important assets, and they generally sought to put them to work for the betterment of their empire. In the 1260s, Hulegu, a Mongol commander and grandson of Genghis Khan, established a research center for thinkers across Eurasia at a place called Maraga, now located in East Azerbaijan province of Iran. Hulegu wanted these intellectuals to exercise their talents in his service, and he was eager for them to devote themselves to the study of alchemy, astrology, and anything that might improve the lifespan or health of the reigning sultan. Many of these goals were naturally unworkable, and yet by assembling so many highly trained thinkers, he paved the way for advances that would have a lasting impact. Especially in the field of trigonometry, as George Lane shows in early Mongol rule in 13th century Iran. Hulegu also worked with the Persian astronomer Nasir al-Din al-Tusi to build the Maraga Observatory, which was among the most advanced observatories in the world at the time. The Mongol Empire encouraged free trade and often took items from one country and introduced them to other countries. This opened up new markets, and economies flourished. The Mongol conquest of China meant that technologies which formerly had been little known in the wider world could now filter into the vast network spanning the Mongol Empire. As Timothy May demonstrates in The Mongol Art of War, a key example is gunpowder. Little is known about how exactly gunpowder technology traveled out from China to the wider world, but it was in this period that it reached the Mediterranean and from there into the Byzantine Empire, Western Christendom, and many parts of the wider world. Ahmad al-Hassan points out in a 2003 study that some parts of the Muslim world already had access to gunpowder and its forebears. Even so, the advent of the Mongol Empire seems to have substantially accelerated the diffusion of this technology. Meanwhile, the Mongols' opponents worked hard to learn from this formidable empire. In 1245, the Franciscan friar John of Plano Carpini was sent by Pope Innocent IV on a mission into the Eurasian steppe to represent Christendom's interest to the Mongols and gather as much information as possible about this new foe. When John returned to Italy, he presented a grim report describing the sheer scale and efficacy of the Mongol war machine. He advised Christendom's rulers to learn from their model, known as the decimal system. According to this approach, squads of 10 soldiers are organized into companies of 100, who are then organized into formations of 1,000, and so forth. Having witnessed the efficacy of this system, John felt that only armies arrayed in the same way had a chance of defeating the Mongols in battle.